Dream with ambition now, Victor. Don't just dream with ambition and maybe an aspiration and some work ethic.
So, Megyn, why does she do this? That's my question. She does it every single interview, and she's not stupid. And she does, I kid around, and maybe I've said she has a vocabulary of 500 words, but I think they give her these prep books, and she just is intellectually lazy. She doesn't even read them. She doesn't even spend any time. And the idea is that I think I've been so nurtured my entire life of being given things, whether if it was from Willie Brown to start out or the media, that the media will never cross me. And she's right, because when you look at the iteration from the first Philadelphia interview she did, well, the debate, the moderators really helped her in the debate. And then she did the Philadelphia interview. That was a softball. Then she went to Dana Bash. She really offered multiple choice answers for her. Then she went to the Association of Black Journalists. They were baffled. They thought, wow, she kind of left in a huff. We did everything we could, and she still failed. And then we went to Oprah, and that was a disaster. And then we went to Stephanie Ruhle, and that was a disaster. And what I'm trying to make the point is that each interviewer knew that the prior one had been criticized for doing T-ball interviews, and yet they tried to outdo the other one. In other words, they were saying to themselves, that person debased themselves by being a propagandist and trying to help her and still couldn't help her. And therefore, I'm going to be a greater propagandist and help her even more. And I'll be famous for the one person that made her look good. And it increased and spiraled. But they all knew what they were doing, and it didn't bother them. So, and her reaction to all that is, I'm just going to wing it. I'm not going to pick up a prep book. I'm not going to look at policy. I don't give interviews. I don't do town halls. I don't do press conferences. I don't have to. So I don't even want to know the data about my economic plan. I don't care. You know, a normal candidate, Megyn, would say, okay, I said I'm for wage and price controls. Tell me the date that I'm going to start. And what I'm going to say when they say, why don't you start now? What is the date, and how am I going to implement it? Is it going to be nationwide? I'm going to turn it over to the states, and here's the possible questions I'm going to get. And they don't do that with her. I think they just give up, and they say if you try to prep her with the details, she gets angry because she doesn't want to do it, and she doesn't need to, and they're right, she doesn't.
Here's evidence of your theory. Okay, I've got a point for you. Last week, this audience knows I was harping on her for the exchange with Stephanie Ruhle, in which Stephanie Ruhle said, and one of the things to help increase the housing has to be dealing with the red tape. And Kamala Harris was like, yes, the red tape, we have to deal with the red tape, absolutely, by creating incentives in the federal government with the state and the local and the community and incentives. And holistically, it has to be holistic around certain incentives, holistic. Oh, and transit and holistic incentives. And we laughed at this inanity. But then I went back and I found that it was her economic speech prior to this interview where she raised the issue of too much red tape. So it was total fair game by Stephanie Ruhle to bring up something she had brought up herself. And the only way she could explain it, when then asked, could you explain what you just said, was to, in passing, in about the course of 1,000 words, to throw in the word transit. So then we went back further after the show, and we actually looked on the Biden-Harris website right now. And on the Biden-Harris website, there is a proposal to try to stimulate more housing development, and there is a piece around transit, and it goes on for paragraphs. And a studious, caring, thoughtful candidate might have read that, committed it to memory, figured out how that actually works and how it could help stimulate, but she is not that person. All she was able to do was say holistically 4 times and squeeze in the word transit when she heard the words red tape. She's not a thoughtful person, and I have to disagree with you, VDH. I do not think she's an intelligent person.
Well, I didn't say she's not. What I meant was she's not, as Donald Trump said. He said that, I thought that's counterproductive when he said she was mentally impaired.
Well, he may not be the one to say it, but I have said it, and I believe it.
But what I'm telling you is that when Bill Clinton prepared, they gave him prep books and policy binders, and he memorized them in like an hour. When Barack Obama did, he could do it too. And they exist, and she hasn't cunning about her. She's cunning. She knows how to, do the photo ops, but it wouldn't. So what she does is, from reports, is that when she has these disasters, she gets angry and she fires her staff, she blames her staff. But the whole point I'm making is she doesn't want to read anything. She doesn't have to. She's never had to. She never did as vice president. And when she does the interview, remember the space thing? She had actors, little kids that were actors. And she does that.
Yes.
She goes into a store to buy pretzels, and it's all been rehearsed. She has it's kind of like an athlete that never lifts weights or never runs, and they're flabby. It doesn't mean they didn't have some ability, but they don't have to do anything. She's been coddled her entire life of privilege, and her idea is, all I have to do is say I'm middle class, I'm black, I'm a woman, and I'm left wing. And I can raise a lot of money and laugh and be personable and kind of flirt, bat my eyes, grin, whatever. And she's gotten by with that. And that's why, remember, I think we keep forgetting, she was Joe Biden's Spiro Agnew insurance policy. It was almost like 48 hours before he quit. They said he will never quit. You cannot put her in there. We know her. They were leaking that. You remember that. You know better than I do. They were leaking it to journalists like you that she's totally lazy. She's inept. She'll never be able to do it. And then all of a sudden, she became Cicero or Socrates, and it doesn't work because she won't. I do believe she has the ability to memorize 10 talking points. I really do.
Yeah, we saw that at the debate. But you're right on the actress front, because that's what I see as well. I see somebody who is acting the role of a presidential candidate, acting what she thinks is the role of a vice president. We see it over and over. That's why one of the things that is so galling about the hopes and dreams and optimism is how she acts through it each time. It'd be one thing if she said, look, I believe people are losing hope and that they shouldn't, because this should be a country of people who have aspirations and ambitions and dreams. And that I could actually stomach that. It's her affect around it, her fake affectation with the hands and the gestures and the attempt to look like she's just come up with this deeply profound inspo for the kids. And I said this last week with Maureen Callahan last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, where I was upset about her weird verbal tick of right. After she does one of these fake profundities, she often tags on, or right. And she did it again. And my team, because they like to torture me and I like to torture you, VDH, has queued it up. Here she is in that talk with Jessica Alba, which actually has it all. Take a listen to SOT 3.
First of all, Latina small businesses are the fastest growing in the country.
Yes, they are.
Right?
Yes, they are.
But included in that is that we don't lack for people who have ambition and have aspirations and dreams and an idea that is a great idea and work ethic. But not everybody has access to the capital.
It's so true.
And I believe strongly that our small businesses are the backbone of America's economy. So when we grow and strengthen small businesses, we all benefit.
Okay. I can't, it's too much. There it is again, right?
It worked with Willie Brown. It worked with the San Francisco donor class. It worked for everybody. I've watched her for years. It worked. She goes down to Hollywood and she does the therapeutic 2 minutes, and they open their checkbooks and they think she's not toxic. And who could dislike that? And the only question we have, Megyn, is that we're down to in the 30 days or 38. I don't know how many today, 37. And can she do this for over a 90-day period? Run out the clock?
She can do it. She could wait just on this front before we here she is, because look, we pulled a little montage. This is part of her routine. The aspirations and I showed you but like the right thing is a verbal tick. This she can do. I don't know if she can maintain like discipline, but she's done it so far. Look at this, SOT 4.
And this movement that we're in about, as I like to say, seeing in the face of a stranger a neighbor.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Just being able
Right.
to know that their hard work allows them to get ahead, right? The beauty of a democracy is each of us has the power. Each of us has the power
That's right.
to answer that question.
That's right. Everybody
Right?
on
The
this.
significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time.
So I felt a great responsibility, and the incredible power of the people, right?
And you know I got some Madison cred, right?
That's a business in
teeny tiny business.
It's
Yeah.
a concept of a
Yes.
business,
Yeah.
right?
I can't.
So what if Oprah had said, well, let's say, what if Stephanie Ruhle had said, instead of you did you flip burgers? What if she said, this is kind of a trivial issue, but it's become very important because it questions your veracity. Could you just set the record straight and tell us now where you worked at McDonald's and what year you did? Just tell us the McDonald's location. But she
Which
knew they
branch?
were going to never answer. Yeah, that would have blown up the whole thing because she couldn't do it. And if Oprah had have just said, instead of yeah, if she just said, when you say you want to help people and you want to give equity, what do you mean? How do you do it? Which program do you want? Do you want to do it through HHS? Do you want to do it Department of Labor? What is the program? Can you just give us 10 detail? And they know that she knows they're not going to ask that. But if they did, and that's why she'll never go down during, the hurricane or talk to somebody impromptu. Or when she was talking to those border people, you really didn't get a microphone in there because they weren't going to ask her, because she can't do that. And they can't do that because she's never had to do it. And, I think we all have met people like that are complete constructs. They're just empty zombies. I mean, they're just...
Well, and it wouldn't be that bad if this were somebody who did have strong policies and we could see on the books, okay, this is a serious person. Maybe she's not that charismatic. Maybe she thinks she's more profound than she is, whatever. But this is all they're selling to us, is this airbag. And we're supposed to accept this as the thing, like McChrystal said, this is the character, the hopes and the dreams, the ambitions and the work ethic, and right? Imagine waking up one day to find out your home no longer belongs to you, that someone somewhere has stolen your property right out from under you. It sounds unthinkable, but it is a sad reality for some American homeowners and a risk for anyone that owns property. House stealing, that's what the FBI calls it. And it's a form of real estate fraud, where scammers leverage loopholes in the system to fraudulently transfer your home's title into their name. And then they take out loans against your property or even sell it behind your back. By the time you find out, the scammer's long gone, leaving you, the legitimate homeowner, to clean up the mess. But right now, triple lock protection is available through HomeTitleLock.com, offering 24/7 title monitoring, alerts, and restoration services. You can sign up today at HomeTitleLock.com and use the promo code Megyn for 30 days of protection for free and a comprehensive title scan to make sure you're not already a victim. That's promo code Megyn and HomeTitleLock.com, or just use the link below. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.